Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Winters and Current Affairs, and today we talk about the preparations in Egypt for the upcoming COP27 expected in November, inshallah, for climate change. And of course there is a lot to say about that particular event that Egypt is hosting. It's a huge event. It has a lot of gravity and a lot of eyes are focused over that particular event because of the topic of that particular event. Is one of the main priorities worldwide right now, and people worldwide and countries and nations and administrations, governorates and everything are setting their eyes and giving priorities to give solutions and study means and take comprehensive efforts to be able to stand up to climate change and the threats of climate change. Today we're going to discuss the upcoming preparations for the upcoming COP27, and also to talk about the important expected topics that Egypt is going to set on the table of negotiations. Of course, we're very delighted to be having with us our dear guest, Dr. Jilan Abdul. She is the former dean of MASCOM, one of the best universities here in Egypt, and she's Secretary General of the Million Youth Volunteer for COP for the climate change, or the climate change ambassadors.
Yeah.
Good evening, Dr. Jilan. And like I said, that we are working tooth and nail to be able to make our utmost preparations for the upcoming COP27, hopefully, inshallah, in November. But at the same time, it is not just an event that the whole world is going to, we're going to share it with countries of the world, but it is a responsibility over our shoulders to bring it with transparency, to bring it with efficiency, with in a very comprehensive vision and professionality at the same time. Of course. So where would you like to start?
First, let me tell you good evening, and to all your audience, greetings for all of them, and we hope that we are going to have fruitful information about the COP27. Let's start with when President Sisi announced that this year will be for the civil society, as we are going to talk about the climate change, that this great event that was going to take place in Egypt in November, as you mentioned in your introduction, as well as to give an overwhelming about what is Egypt doing for this very important event, because this is under the umbrella of the United Nations, as we all know. As you know, we implemented and launched the National Strategy for Climate Change last May, and this was a cooperation among all the ministers, starting from the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Reforms, the Ministry of Petroleum, the Ministry of Industry and Trading, because this is very important that all these ministers should cooperate and collaborate with each other in order to set up the strategy with its objectives, with its vision, goals, what is going, what we should do. And it's not only a work will be on the surface, this work will be internal and external. And as you know, we are the backbone for Middle East, as well as for the Arab countries, as well as for Africa. So we are playing a great role as Egypt, as a country. So what we are going to do? That means that this is not an only event that we are going to talk or just present papers about what is climate change. No, we are going to say how we are going to adapt with this crisis, because this is really a crisis. And this crisis, we should put a plan in order to make benefit of it, to change it, instead of a crisis, to be something we can make projects, make economic, we can reform economic. And this is very important also because this is related to food. If we have lack of food, that means that we are going to also have a crisis that a lot of people will lose their lives. They will lose, and so we are going to have a disaster. Not only a crisis, it will be a disaster. So this strategy should be implemented. How we are going to implement it? We are going to implement to invest in this area. We should have green projects. We should also have awareness that the simple people should understand what we mean by climate change and how to adapt with climate change. Okay? So what we are going to do, what we should do. For example, if we are going to make benefit from the, as you know, earlier, we used to burn the texture of the rice, and this make pollution. Now we can make benefit of this. We can manufacture, instead of exporting the HDF, which is like the wood that we put it on the floor. HDF, yes, we can make the MDF also, and so on. So we can make benefit of this. So we change it from something making pollution for the world or for us, okay, to make something we can invest in it. We can have industry instead of exporting it from abroad, because we used to export this from Europe, as we all know, because this was very something new to us, and then we start to use it as an alternative, because the real wood is very, very expensive. So this is one of the track how we can invest of things that we can, of wastes. That means we can change this as a waste to something to be, we can use it now in decorating our home and so on. Also, we can make benefit of the beet. We are planting beet, okay? As you know, also we are going to have a mega plant for manufacturing sugar, and we are going to start to export sugar to the other countries. And instead of extracting sugar from the sugar cane, we are going to extract the beet, sugar from the beet. And also from the beet, you can extract ethanol. So you have different things.
Innovative ideas.
Yes, that means that you are going to think out of the box. You should start to think of things, how to make these issues to think about out of the box, not to be, a stereotype. We should change our, yes.
Yes, but let's first focus together over the major pressing climate change threats that are facing, or challenges that are facing the whole world in general.
Yeah.
There are a number of major threats for climate change that are threatening the whole world, and even Egypt supposed to abide by some rules to be able to stand up and collaborate with other nations, and that is the issue and the core issue of holding that conference. It's a continuation of a prior conference, so that we could be continue with our role and path to be able to stand up to these challenges. What are these major challenges worldwide of climate change?
Let me refer to something very important issue that we already, starting from a Paris Agreement, which is
of course, yes,
2015, and according to the sustainable development that all the countries signed this sign that they are going to work, that all of us are going to put the vision for 2030, and by the way, we should mention that the strategy for the climate change adaptation, it will be 2050. That means that we have that we are challenging this disaster. The President Sisi, within this month, at 18th of July, he was invited to go to Germany, where he attended the Pittsburgh Climate Dialogue, and this was the 13th dialogue. This was already launched 2010 by Chancellor Angela Merkel, where she was the
when she was
the ex-prime minister. So this meeting or this dialogue, Egypt was one of the most important countries that are invited to be involved in this dialogue. Why? Because there are different issues has been discussed among the most important effective countries, especially the European countries and USA, and because why? Because they are more suffering than us, although they are the one of the producing of the carbon and this emission, green emission. Okay, so because they are going to face lack of food, and this will be a great issue, and they are going also suffering from natural gas, because they are not going to have energy due to the crisis between Ukraine and Russia. So Egypt now is playing a great role, also not only in the area of the Middle East area or the African area or Arab countries. No, we are going also to have a great role within the European countries and even with the USA and so on.
In what sense?
In what sense? That we are going now, all the people are going, or all the countries are going to start to take energy. They want from you energy, so you can start to export for them energy, because now, as you know, due to the crisis between Ukraine and Russia, that there is shortage of the streaming of the natural gas to the European countries and so on. And by the end of the year, the coming winter, there will be a disaster for them, because they need energy for warming. So how they can make this? So now they are going to look for the Arab countries, to look for the petroleum, for gas, and this will also make that they should also think of another way how to have an alternative for this energy. Now here in Egypt, we have a renewable energy ways by the wind. We have now the plan for Bamban in order to have renewable energy. We started to change our way of how to fuel your cars by natural gas. And this is thanks of God, because we already, as you know, we find the field of Zohr, where we find it at the Mediterranean Sea. So thanks God for all this, in spite of all this disaster, that we have another sources in order to afford this crisis, and in order to start to have a green projects. Even that's why we are now booming in this. And by the way, Joe Biden, while he was in Jeddah at the summit of Jeddah, he mentioned that the coming summit or the coming conference, the COP27, which will be taking place in Egypt, it's very, very important for all the countries, because they are going to take decisions regarding investment, regarding how they can all cooperate in order to avoid this disaster, and also that they can have food, they can have change. So this is a very good chance for us in order to start business-wise, in order to start working in this, that we can start also booming in Africa, because Africa, as you know, is a very place, an area, green area, where you can fertilize, where you can plant, where you can make a mega project, so that you can avoid what is going on with this climate change crisis.
So we're going to present solutions on the table.
Yes,
we have
yes.
to work on.
We already worked on that. We already all. If we are following the news, we will find that every meeting of the cabinet every Wednesday, as it is also taking place every Wednesday, this issue is on the schedule of the work, what we are going to do. This is one of the memos that is very important issue, that each sector or each ministry, what is your plan for that? What is we are going to do for that? By 35, by year 35, by year 50, we should boom that we are going to have all the green projects, even in Suez Canal as you know, we have now a very important, this is a very logistic important
The logistic area inside.
Yes, okay,
Suez
because
Canal.
this is will be booming with, it will be more business area, it will business area. So all these areas or these plants should work in green projects. We are going to deal with green projects. That means we should have also the plant, we are going to produce hydrogen, because this will be the alternative for the energy in order not to use carbon, in order to have zero carbon, because this is the target of the COP27, that all the countries should boom to produce hydrogen in order not to use again carbon, because this is the source of the pollution and what we are having now. And this is also changing of the degrees. As you see, the disasters that happened in the woods and in areas, in different areas in Brazil, in even in Beirut,
in Australia and in California also,
yes,
every year.
Yes.
It is continuous.
Yes. So
it's
that's
because of climate change.
Yes.
And the avalanches also, which is opposite to the fires that happen in in frozen places where the weather is so cold, is also a result of climate change.
Yes.
And it's going to eliminate cities, whole cities.
Also, we have another problem, which is the sea. When it is due to the change of the temperature, this is also will make a shortage of the fishing. That this is so it's also another source of food. So we should take care of that, because this is very important, a source of food. That's why also we make factories or hatcheries for fish
fisheries.
Yes, fisheries in Kafr al-Sheikh, Ghalioun, for example, or also we have in different areas, even in Al-Arish. So you have developing projects in order. You have a vision. You have a vision, a forthcoming vision, how we can avoid this crisis, how we can start to boom. Also, we are planting in New Valley, in Pashka. Okay, yeah. For example, if we refer to, I think in April, where the harvest of the wheat, and this we have already 60. We planted as a government 64,000 faddan for wheat, and also the government is encouraging the people in order to plant wheat, in order that we avoid the shortage of wheat. Also, we refer also to the crisis of the war between Russia and Ukraine, because, as you know, are the two main countries for
wheat suppliers. But also finding alternative sources for water. In order to stand up to the water scarcity issues that are going to face the other generations. Yes,
desalination. We are making now desalination of water, of the seawater. This is also one of the mega projects that Egypt is booming in it, is working on it, in order that we can use this also in planting, not for to drink from it, but no, we can use this for the planting. And I think
so desalinated water could be used for agriculture.
Yes, for agriculture, yes. And also this is one of the important issues that at the speech of President Sisi at Jeddah summit, that he mentioned our right of water, that we should take our
share.
Yes, our allocation of water.
Our historical share.
Yes, that we should take it, and we should not be that we should no one to take our rights, because this is one of our rights, and this is one of human rights. As you want to develop your country, also.
And there is an agreement that
and we will help you, because we are the key, we are the heart of Africa. We are the supporters for Africa.
Let us also not forget the endangered species of the animals in the forests.
Yes.
Because there is a pyramid for all living creatures. There is a consumer, and then there is the predator, and there is the consumer, and this cycle, it has to go. Yes. Once we eliminate or eradicate one species of the animal, like some ignorant people try to do by poison or toxics
Yes.
or things like that. We are eliminating on the expense of other things, I mean other species, and we pay the price because it could affect the bacteria and fungus around us, and that can cause pandemics, and this is what happened in China.
Yes, yes. The pandemic, as you know,
This
we
is
are
exactly the
we
core
are
of the reason
facing
that
now the
happened in China.
COVID-19 because
Because of the disruption
yes, of
of
this
the
biological
endangered
war that we don't know from where the source of it, and this is affecting us. Also, due to climate change, we are now facing the I think this is the sixth wave of COVID-19. In Europe and in Egypt and all over the world.
But it started from
Yes,
China,
yes.
because they just destructed the biological balance of the ecosystem.
Yes.
When it comes to the endangered species, and they consumed from some animals, and they eradicated them by consuming of them for food or something where they were not supposed to do so, in the most degrading ways, that resulted in pandemics.
Yes, so we should work on that.
But will countries like China abide by the rules once there are rules that are issued and enforced? Are there any punishment? Would the rules be effected in a way that some countries who do not abide by the rules would be punished?
We don't have the...
Or otherwise there is no use.
You don't have the realistic in your hand. You don't know, you are not sure 100% that this is from China or from where, because
whatever
still
country,
we don't have
once we issue the rules,
still we don't have the realistic source.
Exactly, but we're not talking about China. We're talking about countries who disrupt the biological balance of the ecosystem.
Yes,
there is a biological
you don't
balance.
know which country. Which country
Once
did
a
that?
country is spotted by, like a country in Australia is eradicating the forest, for example, or in California they're eradicating it because of economic greed and because they want to establish buildings, for example.
Yes,
and they are cutting
yes.
trees. Are there harsh laws that are going to be enforced by force over those countries?
It should be. There should be working on in setting legislations in order to have punishment. But this is related to each country. And also in Egypt, we don't have a punishment. We don't have something in the law mentioned that those who are eradicating plants or whatsoever should be punished. Okay, in spite of something. One thing that, as you know, that those people who already build in green areas and this was not illegal, they started to negotiate with the government in order that they are going to pay for that, or they are going to destroy these buildings.
But there are other issues that are unforgivable, like throwing the nuclear waste in the developing countries.
This is something.
Throwing the polluting other countries, some industries of the superpower countries throwing their
yes, this
waste.
Is a game. It's a game, a political game.
There should be a law, otherwise there is no use for these conferences.
It should be international law. That will be.
I mean, international
under the umbrella
like
of the United Nations.
Exactly.
This should be under the umbrella of the United Nations, and this can be discussed also in COP27, because this is a very, very important issue. As you know, it will be different sectors. People are going to talk in business, they can invest. People are going to talk in law. Civil society also, they are going to give their opinion, starting to give ideas out of the box, started to how we can make benefit of the waste and change it into something useful on the level of individuals, on the level of the states, of the countries, or according to each regions, how they can make use of this. So this can all be discussed in COP27 in order we can reach real documentations, okay, with settings, items, what we are going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this will be done, will be done, we should at the end have recommendations. And this recommendation should be on the table, and should all the countries agree on it, and all of them should be adjusted to that. So this is very, very important. Why? Because we, the developing countries, or as they say that we are the third world, we are paying the price for that. Especially the African countries, especially the countries that now is facing war, that they are trembling. There is no stability, no peaceful. As you know, we have in the Arab countries, we are facing problems even at the south, where Sudan, there's instability in Libya, in Gaza, in Yemen, Syria, and so on. So this also is very important issues. They should talk about that, because studying all this, if we are going to have peaceful, we are going all to work, we are going all to invest, so we are going automatically or accordingly, we will live in peace. And this is what we all intend for that. We are looking for that. We are seeking that. We want to see peaceful. We want to live. We want to have our life, because we also are caring about our children. And this is one of the important things of sustainable development, because sustainable development is talking about what? Social. One of the important dimensions is social justice. So social justice means that we should live in an environment, because this environment, if it's good, that means that we are going to be healthy, we are going to be able to learn, to educate, and accordingly we are going to work, and accordingly we can invest, so we all will live. We are going not to suffer from lack of food. So this is very, very important that COP27 get out recommendations that we all the countries should live in a peaceful, should have fun, their food. They are not going to, there will not be poverty. People are not in a tremble, in a suffering, in war. As you see, tribes are in war because of food. They are looking for food. They are looking for work. They are looking for. So this is very, very important that you give people, first of all, food and safe.
Exactly, and security.
Yes.
But you kindly draw the attention to the military confrontation that results in scarcity of food and endangering people's lives, and the use of lethal weapons and nuclear arms,
yes.
and sometimes prohibited, machine guns, or types of arms. So all that could be one of the challenges for climate change, and how important is it to regulate and stand up also, like regarding or taking it as a principle, standing up to military confrontations is a means of standing up to climate change.
Look, this is very important issue, but this will be in the hand of the people in the military, okay? Because if we live in a peace and there's no war, they are not going to use weapons, and this is a dream. I don't think this is something will happen because there are people working in this field and they are gaining a lot of money because of producing weapons. So we are not going to talk on this issue, because this issue is not going to be working in COP27. The important issues is related first how we are going to adapt with this, how we are going to start investment in that. What will the projects that we should move to it? Especially that we are going to let people work in small or medium industry projects, because this is very, very important. As I told you, if you earn your money, you earn your business, you are the one that you are producing your food, that means you are not depending on others. So you are going to live insecure. And this is very, very important. First of all we want to have that we should have peace in the Arab countries. Because as you see, this is very, very important issue to us for all the Arab countries. We need the Middle East to be peaceful. We need that the problem of Palestinian to be solved, because if it's solved, that means that we will be stable, we will be able
those people will
to
be
face
more productive.
Yes, we will be more productive. And this was well announced in Jeddah summit, because when you see the vision, or when you see the picture that all the Arabs are hand in hand, and this is something we missed for years. I was one of the of all the people, of all the viewers, that when I saw this picture, I was so happy. Oh, we return back to be in hand in hand. That's mean when you are in hand and you are cooperating with each other, you are facing the other world. You are facing the world that is looking to you as a third world, that you are not productive. You are only consumers. So if we live in peace and we started to solve these problems, we will be able to face the climate change. We will be able to adapt. Why? Because we are going to be productive.
Right. Prime Minister Mustafa Mabuli held a press conference. I mean, following a cabinet meeting in New Alamein city, and he held this conference with the Minister of Environment, Dr. Yasmin Fouad, and other concerned officials.
Yes.
They talked about the 10 projects affiliated to the authority in Sharm el-Sheikh. Among them is eye identification, walkway, Bedouin houses, and there is a coordination of the Ministry of Environment to hold an exhibition entitled The Green Area on the sidelines of the conference to give opportunity to companies and NGO and civil societies to present their projects. If you like to explain to us, and what type of projects are expected to be exhibited?
First of all, let's say that we are going to give a model of the green city. That Sharm el-Sheikh will be a model for the green city, smart city, that it's a green city. Everything will be with LED lighting, everything with no pollution, smart. It will be a smart area. And this model, okay, will be later on will be transferred to all the cities in Egypt. Okay, so and also we are going to promote how we did that, the know-how. The know-how, that means this is made by Egyptian. That means that these Egyptian people can make these smart cities in any area, even in Arab countries. They can also work in Europe countries and so on. And this is my dream. Okay. If we refer to the exhibition of projects that will be exhibited at the margin of this COP27, as you know, the civil society is working in parallel with the government. That means that you are making awareness campaigns to tell the people, to tell the simple people what we mean by climate change. They should know what does it mean, the definition of it. They should know from where we have this disaster or this crisis, why this is being happen. And also we should teach them how they can adjust with this climate change. Very, very simple. For example, the plastic bottle that you are using it, okay, start not to use the plastic bottles. If you are at your home, start to have a bottle of a glass bottle and start to use the filter water, put in it the water, start to use it.
Just like the old-fashioned way.
Yes,
it
the
was
old-fashioned way.
Healthy.
Yes, because this is more healthy. More healthy, and will be, you are going not to be less consumer. You are not going to waste this in the basket or in the garbage. And if you have a hell of plastic, that means that you have a hell of pollution. And that means that will be what will be affecting the atmosphere, the environment. So this is one of the simple way. Or what else we can do? We can make projects of these plastics. We can recycle it. We can make something of it else. Yes. So this is projects that the civil society starts to teach people how they can make benefit of these wastes, how they can fertilize, how they can plant their balconies, how they can plant food for them. So simple things like, for example, the green plants that we are using daily.
And use renewable energy. And
yes, and we start to use the solar instead of having the gas, for example, at your home.
On rooftops of
the
buildings.
rooftops. So these projects can be small projects that the people can start to make their own, as you know, entrepreneurship. So
it would save money also.
yes. So this will be, okay, people who are making accessories from the waste. I saw women are making projects of the waste, from the buttons, from the piece of clothes that they are not using it. They are making it from it carpets, for example. So something you can use it at your home, and it will be handmade. Something you can use it for decorating, for camping, for hotels that is making camping, and so on. So we are going to have ideas, and these ideas will be products, and these products will be exhibited at the same time within the COP27. So you are going to show that you are having innovative ideas, and you are going also at the same time invest and start to maybe you can import these projects and start to have business worldwide, not only national.
Right. On this note, of course, Dr. Jilan Abdul, you are former Dean of MESCOM, one of the prominent universities in Egypt, and also Secretary General for the youth 100
million youth for climate
for
adaptation.
the million youth for climate change. Would like to thank you and wish you all the best of luck in COP27. And of course, events will unfold. Of course, we still have like a couple of months, and on a promise from you to come over and have several more discussions.
Thank you, Dina, and I'm so happy to have this fruitful discussion with you, and hope that your viewers are interested with what we are saying today.
Our pleasure. And I guess this brings us to the end of this edition of Windows on Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you, and until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.